While President Obama is hosting world leaders right here in Washington, D.C. to continue the conversation on nuclear threats, not everyone is sold the world is becoming a safer place. RT's Priya Sridhar joins us in the newsroom now with that story. Priya?
Hey there, Cedric. You know, there's a growing movement here in the United States of people who are worried about the direction of this country. They're called preppers, and they're doing everything they can to get ready if and when disaster strikes. Be it a natural disaster or the threat of a nuclear blowout, these guys say they aren't going to wait around for anyone to have their backs. Take a look.
The United States is in the midst of one of the worst recessions in recent history. With the national debt growing while the average paycheck is shrinking, to many it seems like the American way of life is at stake. While Washington continues to bail out Wall Street bankers, those on Main Street are left wondering what's next. And some like these guys are fed up.
They're starving, they're losing their apartments, they're losing their homes. It's just not right. David Strachan and Joe Parrish are survivalists. They don't want to wait around for the government to take action.
I think more and more people are becoming aware that they need to prepare due to the economic conditions of both the United States and the world.
Parrish bought this RV and is ready to hit the road if the country falls apart. And he's thought of everything from food to medicine to power.
These guys aren't the only ones who are getting ready if disaster strikes. They're part of a growing movement called preppers in the United States. If society collapses or a natural disaster hits, they're prepared to fend for themselves.
The pair are former members of the military. They're now using the skills they learned while serving their country to get ready for its collapse.
We're going to have to fight. We're going to probably have to kill. And I've been through enough of that.
They're veterans and now self-professed patriots who want the United States to get back to its roots.
I don't feel that President Obama is our best choice. I don't feel that he has our best interests at heart.
I'm looking at other people, plus myself, want to survive in this country and be able to live right. It seems like the more you make, the more the government takes away from us.
He leans more, to me, he leans more towards a socialist type government, which when you think of socialism, you think of elimination of liberties.
But until then, they're going to keep planning for the country's demise.
I want to survive. My lady wants to survive. We've got to take care of ourselves. And the government is forcing us to someday have to kill innocent people. We did this in the war. Now we're going to have to do it in our own country.
Doing whatever it takes in the name of survival.
So, Cedric, as you can see, these guys have got a mobile home decked out with maps, radio service, tools, and more. They're stockpiling food and water, and they even have homemade medicine so that they can survive anything that comes their way.
Priya, what are these guys, what's their biggest concern?
Well, Cedric, these guys really want to emphasize that they aren't hippies or environmentalists who simply want to live off the grid, and they aren't people who believe in those Mayan prophecies that the world is going to end in 2012. They've seen things like Hurricane Katrina that happened in this country, and to many people it seemed like the federal government was nowhere to be found. So they've realized that, hey, if something like that were to happen again, why should things be any different? A lot of them are also really not happy with President Obama, as I mentioned before. They see what's going on with health care as an indication that this country is simply heading in the wrong direction. They see the federal government trying to take away their liberties and have more control and power over what goes on in their lives. Many of the same sentiments, Cedric, that, you know, we constantly hear from the Tea Partiers. And because of all of that, they believe that there could potentially be a blowout between the government and the people in the not-too-distant future. And that might sound far-fetched, Cedric, but just remember, a couple of weeks ago, the FBI rounded up those militiamen who were allegedly plotting some sort of attack on public officials. We can also look at incidents like Joe Stack, the Texan who flew a plane into an IRS building and wrote a suicide manifesto about how angry he is about this country. All these incidents, to many preppers, are signs that people are extremely frustrated, and they think that that, coupled with the recession, is bound to lead to a major disaster, Cedric.
Priya, to state the obvious, the big story for the past few days has been this nuclear security summit. These guys, are they afraid of a nuclear blowout happening somewhere in this country?
Well, Cedric, I talked to Joe Parrish on the phone recently, and I asked him about all those meetings. and, you know, what President Obama has done to reduce the United States nuclear stockpile. And he said he's glad these countries are coming together to talk about these important issues. But these were his exact words, Cedric. He believes that President Obama is leaving this country with its pants down. He thinks that nuclear disarmament is great, but that realistically, President Obama is putting this country in a vulnerable position and jeopardizing American security. But at the end of the day, he's ready for anything, as you saw earlier in my story.
RT's Priya Sridhar joining us tonight with her story about the preppers. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Priya.